Now, some don't consider Meagan to be an A-list actor due to her range. Now, she is very appealing to the culture, let me be clear. But I'm a selfish fan, and I was kind of digging the Meagan that she gave when she was with when her and her ex-husband Devon Franklin first filed for divorce, and she was like, Miss Good if you nasty, the before Jonathan. And while relationships is not my wheelhouse, I will say that I'm gonna switch gears here just a little bit, because I want to talk about the hug that I saw online that Michael Ealy gave to Meagan Good, that everyone thought, oh my gosh, Jonathan Majors feels a type of way about the hug. Now, I have to say, Robin Ayers over at the Raw Report, it is KBLA, that is their YouTube channel. She actually had the guy who captured the video on her show, and he says in the actual interview with her, hey, I captured the moment of Jonathan and Michael Ealy embracing, and then once that was over, Michael then embraced Meagan. That part wasn't necessarily caught in the video, but Jonathan and Michael did embrace prior to him engaging in a hug from Meagan. Now, if you saw the video, you already know that it wasn't just any hug that was embraced. It was Michael Ealy just kind of not only embracing Meagan, but just kind of like picking her up a little bit, but she's light and petite, y'all. She's light and petite, but he just kind of like hugged her and like just did a little pickup, and she kind of was like, oh, and kind of held her hat. It was very dainty, but let me not be extra with it. Let me just not cause any more commotion that's already been created. It's good if you're nasty. But I'm gonna say it like this. What folks was really looking at is the fact that after Michael gave Meagan that hug, then Meagan looked over to Jonathan, and Jonathan would not give her any eye contact. So that's what people saw. I think, yes, people may have misconstrued the fact that Michael and Jonathan embraced, but what they truly saw was the interaction, or lack thereof, that Jonathan did not give Meagan afterwards. After Michael basically put her down and he embraced her for that particular hug. Not only that, but of course, critics noticed that even when they got ready to take a picture all together, Jonathan, Meagan, some other folks that was also included, Michael, Ealy as well, that Jonathan didn't embrace Meagan. Instead, Meagan had to actually put her hand on his shoulder. Now, his arm. Now, that could be something that's a little bit petty, but I want to take and remove all of that. I want to pretend like what Meagan posted and said later on afterwards, that we was taking it out of context or whatever the case may be, and that Jonathan was okay with all of the things and yada, 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 yada. I want to pretend and say that this is a woman of a certain age. She knows what she's doing, blah, 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 blah. This is what I am going to say. This man has a history of behavior. And the MVMO channel actually brought it to my attention. There's an article in the New York Times, and it's also a resource. Did y'all know that the New York Times is a resource through your public library? Baby, all you gotta do is sign up for it. It is a little bit more of an in-depth process. Like, you literally have to go to your public library, put your information in, look for the New York Times resource, go into the New York Times resource within your public library, put in your email information, sign up for an account, and then access everything via your email. But once you do all of the things, it is a process, y'all, okay? Once you do all of the things, you're good to go, and you basically have access to the New York Times. But whenever I Google the New York Times, most of the time they'll only give me a percentage of the article, and then I have to either guess what else happened or look for the information on another source. But just to let you know, check with your public library and see if the New York Times is a source there for you. But in the article that was written in the New York Times, the author is Melina Rizik. Hopefully I'm saying the name right. She spent 4 months interviewing people across the country who worked with Jonathan Majors, and it turns out that he did in fact lie about not striking a woman. In fact, he had 2 relationships prior to fame, in which one woman by the name of Emma Duncan described him as controlling and accused him of emotionally abusing and physically abusing her, choking her and throwing her around. Okay, that's what she said. In interviews with former colleagues, it also was found that Mr. Majors had a history of volatility on the set of the HBO series Lovecraft Country, which was one of my favorites. I loved that show. So, in my opinion, next level. it combined like a little bit of like black magic and like, you know, sort of like the future of um just history that was like back in the day, along with like magic. And it was just, it's kind of very like, I don't know, Harry Potter-esque, you know, if you, and I'm not even a Harry Potter person. Okay. But apparently, on the set of the HBO series Lovecraft Country, he has been seen having confrontations with other female coworkers that led them to complain to the network. He has a history also of love bombing, calling his ladies Mrs. Majors, and while still incorporating that manipulative behavior that feels like love and leads into even more manipulation. So the hope is that yes, there has been change, but as you know, the MVMO channel has said and stated, it. I don't know if there was enough time in between relationships for there to truly be a change within Mr. Majors. So there's definitely more to come as it pertains to this particular relationship. And to be honest, I hope that all of the folks that are saying negative things about it, I hope that it is something that is wrong and that everything works out and y'all live happily ever after. But until then, unfortunately, people are going to continue to scrutinize that particular relationship just because of how it began and just the history around this man's behavior, particularly with women. All right, y'all. If you missed the previous breaking story that I did regarding former president and now convict Donald Trump, you can catch that I have linked it below. And in the video, I talk about more breaking news as well. Additionally, thanks y'all for tuning in to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel, where you get commentary, reviews, and tabloid news. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload.